I'm going to change the strings on this for my audition, I've decided. I don't know if you're supposed to loosen them a bit before you just cut them, but I think it's probably a good idea not to just have them go ping. These are very hard to get hold of, these D'Addario titanium, but these are the ones that you're supposed to use with this instrument. It's what the designers of the instrument produced it with. They matched this ukulele to titanium. These are the ones that you tend to get hold of more easily, the Nyltech ones. So I've got Nyltechs on there at the moment. So I'm going to do some strums with Nyltech, and then we'll do some strums with titanium, and we'll do a before and after. So we'll do that. So I'm going to show you how I change the strings, but then I'll also have a bit of before and after. And now to take the strings off, and we have this wonderful tool. It's worth buying. It's got a winder on it for winding these, and it's got a cutter on it for cutting these. So we unwind, and then we cut. This is where you need a German dictionary. So if you don't have a German dictionary, other books will do. I'm just going to unwind it a bit. Off. Now we've got the main tension off. Now we can cut the strings using the actual cutter. So probably a good idea to cut them just there. And it's going to come off here. So the inside, you see, we've got a little nut. See, there it is. So that we're going to get. We can't get a hand in the hole till we cut all the strings, so we're going to cut all the strings. Let's do the halfway touch for the C string. Now the E string. No, I'll go to the top one next. The A. I don't want any risk that I'm pulling this neck from one side or anything like that. So then, finally, maybe I should have done the C string last. Maybe. So there they all are. Now I can reach inside and I can retrieve. See, they have a little nut that you tie the string onto and you pull it through, so that's where you get a nice neat finish on the end of these strings. I can actually get my whole hand in there, but only my right hand. My left hand is bigger. So let's do. And there's just one more to get out here. That A string. Be a bit careful not to knock that, and also not to knock the electronics. I'm going to have to take that little bone out of there without my hand stuck inside again. So it's just lucky that I can actually get my entire hand in there. I'm not going to show you now because I need two hands to get it out again, but I can actually get my entire hand in that tiny hole, which I had to do because this was stuck. It was stuck. That got stuck somehow underneath there, and I think this is part of the pickup or something. This was kind of in the way. I think that's part of the pickup. I don't know what that is. And then this bone goes back on. It just sits in there like so. So we will put that back in a minute. But also we can give this all a bit of a dust and a clean while we've got it all like this. I've given the whole thing a polish with a t-shirt. Nice soft t-shirt taken out of my laundry basket. I don't know. Normally you should polish it with using a bit of Dr. Stringfellow. I don't have any. So I've just wiped it with the soft cloth, concentrating on this area here, these edges, even these edges, because the strings do come close to here, and I probably don't polish there normally. Polish the fretboard. I'm not oiling it this time. I used engine oil last time, brand new engine oil, but I'm not going to oil it this time. And also the head, I've also given that a bit of a polish over. So now it's ready for the new strings, and we're just going to take these little brass things off and tie them onto the new strings, get them ready one by one. So I'm going to start with the C string because that's the one that will have the least tension on it. So just have a look at these. See, they've got that lovely purple shine to them. They're different, the titanium ones. Have a look at the old strings. There's the old strings, you see. That kind of colour. Sort of that kind of colour. Titanium strings got a nice colour to them. They're special sounding. They're good. So we're going to tie this little nut onto the C string. So I've used the code there, the key, to label them up. EAC, because that's how I think of the strings. Then that the G string will be the black one. I think G strings should always be black. I'm going to tie the nut on to the C string. Actually, slight correction, before we tie the nut on we will thread it through, because otherwise you have to thread it through from backwards. I have done that to myself before. So yeah, we thread it through first. So here's the C string, the second string, well, third string technically, but I always think of it as a second. That's why I have to label them, because I always think of it the wrong way around. So we're going to get that through there. We're going to reach down inside, find it, put it through, and then we'll tie the nut on there and pull it and put it on. Put the bone back on and get that one ready. Done two little knots there, and I think I'm going to use maybe pliers to pull it a bit tighter. So I don't think I can get the knot much tighter than that. Using the pliers to hold the end of it and then pulling both ways with it. Also make sure you give yourself quite a nice length of it coming out of that sound hole there, so there isn't any risk that you're going to sort of, pull it against the edges there and things. And then we're going to cut this down a bit. Just want to cut that down because we don't want something that long poking around inside. Just going to cut that. Just going to leave a bit less than an inch on there. And now we're just going to pull that string up through the hole. There it is. It's up through the hole. It's that easy. We take the stick off the end, put it on the winder, put the bone back in there the right way round, and start to tighten it just slightly. Got the first one in, put the bone back in. I've gone through and around. Oh, what is that on my finger? I've gone through and round, and then I've gone through the loop with this. I don't know if that's the right way to do it, but that's what I've done. Okay, we've given it some tightness. Now we're going to put the other three in. So I did actually make a mistake, which I should not really have put this C string all the way up to there until I'd pulled these others through. You should pull them all through first, because I've got to reach through there to try and pull these through, so it's actually quite hard to do. So I'm just going to pull the last one through anyway. I can still just about get through there at the moment with my tiny fingers. And then we will attach them all to the top there. Tying the last one on at the headstock, and the method that I'm using, we've gone round it once, and we've gone through the hole, then we've gone round and through again, and then we've gone up through the very loop that we've just made. So that loop is pressing, in theory, against this now. So when I tighten it, it should not slip. Right, that's the theory I'm using. Like I say, leave all these strings lovely and long for now, in case you're going to get some slip-ups. But now this is the point where we need to use the crank to give it a wind up, to wind up these more quickly. So I've got my crank here, the A string. I'm going to wind it. See, when you hear the note go up and then suddenly go back down again, that's where the knot has slipped. But if it's settled, not quite there yet, is it? Okay, so now I've got them more or less into tune. Good enough. I've gone up and down and stretched them a few more times as well. It's going to take several days to get them fully into tune, which is why I'm doing this well in advance for my audition. But now I think that's good enough. They've slipped and slid enough and caught enough. I've given them a chance to slide. I think we can now cut them off up here. Again, just going to leave myself just a bit, 3/4 of an inch on these. Of course, if these do slide out again, that's it. They have to put new strings on, and that's why I always have a spare set. Although these, unfortunately, these are just the Nyltechs, so I don't really want to have to go back to Nyltechs. You can see the difference between the colours of the strings. These are lovely clear colour, bluey clear colour, and they have a blue clear sound. I should do that demo now. And we do a bit of strumming.